Hi everyone, this is Enudi Podcast with a wonderful title once again for your listening pleasure. I advise us to sit back and listen and enjoy it. The title for today's podcast is The Die is Cast. Elections all over the map. It's important to remind all of us of this important phrase. Elections have consequences. This could mean a variety of things, beginning with what we did from the onset of noticing who is running for a particular electoral position in our local district, constituency, state, or federal. It's also pertinent to ask what we did regarding trying to ascertain the integrity of our intending representatives at all levels of government before, during, and after being elected into political positions. How we take part in the process matters a lot in making our final choice of whom we will cast our ballot. In the United States, for instance, the midterm election period is around the corner. In less than a month, we will be heading to the poll to cast our ballot. And the question is, do we all know who we are voting for? Do they represent our values? What are those burning issues we are facing that these politicians seem to address? A lot of those burning issues include the state of the nation. For instance, the economy, who can best address the issues of inflation, housing, racism, poverty, crime, and so many other issues. Stating these issues remains central in politics and politicking because it's easy for people to begin blaming those voted into political offices right after they have been voted into positions of authority. But it's another issue to also note that we lukewarmly failed to partake in the political process and possibly nip the bad candidates or filter the bad guys away before getting them elected. Remember, if you do not participate in the political process and vote, you have tacitly voted in the bad actors. And as a result, we are doomed to live with the outcome of voting the wrong persons into positions of authority for some long period of time. Oftentimes, the voted bad guys or bad actors do cause enormous damages to our political climate before they complete their tenure in office. And as we all know, it's almost difficult ameliorating bad situations into normalcy or trying to do damage control. Instead of taking proactive actions now before things go awry. Just as the United States is preparing to go to the polls, so as many countries of the world, including Nigeria, where the three major parties in the country are jostling for control of government at the center. Those of us in the West could see the energy in everyone, including the youths, jostling to make a change in terms of the energy to be among those organizing political rallies. Again, it's important to remind all of us that all politics is local, and while it's right for everyone to be very interested on who occupies the presidency, it's very imperative not to lose sight of the fact that those representing us at the local levels are the most important in politics. If the local level is not right, trust that the state and federal is definitely not going to be all right, and that's where we are all getting it wrong. Battles cannot be won outside without all of us taking care of the inside. That said, we should recognize that one of the very least of our political officers, which is the city council representatives or councillors in the case of Nigeria, mayor or local government chairman, to various state representatives and congresspersons at state and federal levels are equally very important. How effective our political situation becomes largely depends on the followership. I keep touching on issues of followership because we sometimes appear uninterested, uncommitted, and not getting enough involvement in our political process, only to complain after a certain not favorable political actor has been voted into positions of authority. In my previous podcast, I have mentioned it over again that we could have an ideal political process of involvement and sense of belonging only if we get ourselves more involved and engages our politicians to debates, town hall meetings, small gatherings, which enables a two-way communication and so on with our politicians. I'm reiterating it once again that large crowds in political gatherings do not translate into a voting bloc or a huge cast of votes on voting day, but commitment and unwavering efforts in the process does. Because there may be a heavy rain or snow or some other inclement weather condition that may scuttle the voting process on a voting day. Still, those who are committed to the electioneering process will come out regardless of the awful weather and cast their ballots. They do it as if their life depends on it, and it really does, because, like I have mentioned earlier, elections have consequences. If you allow good political actors to represent you through voting process, you will definitely enjoy the ride with great developmental projects. They will also churn out policies, laws that will help everyone they represent to progress and grow in their represented constituency. None of us wants a bad person as our representative in every level of government. So I'm urging everyone to get involved, get engaged. Don't be rattled by politicians' personalities, because they are your servants, not your masters. Let's get that registered in our head today and always. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.